Hello everyone. Let's label together the structures on the tibia and fibula blank figures. The tibia and the fibula are the two bones in the leg. The fibula is the lateral bone in the anatomical position on both sides, and the tibia is the medial bone, which is toward the big toe, which is the medial aspect of the foot. Starting with the first figure, this right here is the tibia. It looks like a T, that's the tibia. And this is the fibula. The fibula is the lateral bone, LA, lateral. Tibia is the medial bone. Right here we have the interosseous membrane between the two bones. On the tibia, we have the lateral condyle. To be able to identify the lateral condyle versus the medial condyle, the fibula will guide you toward the lateral aspect on this figure. So the fibula is the lateral bone, that is the condyle, this is the condyle. However, this is the lateral condyle, whereas this is the medial condyle. Also, there's another structure we will talk about on the medial aspect of the tibia that help guide you toward the medial surface. Moving to this structure right here, this is the intercondylar eminence. Inter means between, condylar. Between the two condyles, we have the intercondylar eminence. Moving to the tibial tuberosity right here. So this is the tibial tuberosity. On the shaft of the tibia, we have the anterior border. This is the medial malleolus, which is the medial structure on the tibia. So the medial malleolus will help you identify the medial aspects of the bone. The fibula is the lateral bone in the leg. And this right here is the inferior articular surface. This surface articulates with the tarsal bones to form the ankle joint. Moving to the structures on the fibula, we have the head of the fibula. This is the lateral malleolus. So the medial malleolus is on the tibia, whereas the lateral malleolus is on the fibula. This is the superior tibiofibular joint. Superior, why? Because it is closer to the point of attachment. That's where we have the knee right here. Whereas this is the inferior tibiofibular joint, inferiorly toward the ankle. Moving to the posterior aspect of the tibia and the fibula, this right here is the fibula. As we mentioned, the fibula will help you identify the lateral aspect from the medial aspect. This is the tibia. This right here is the interosseous membrane. This is the head of the fibula. This is the lateral malleolus, which is the structure on the fibula. This structure is the medial condyle. Remember, the tibia is the medial bone. So right here we have the medial condyle. Right here we have the lateral condyle. Whereas the superior surface right here, this is called the articular surface of medial condyle of the femur. The femur has its own medial condyle. Don't confuse the medial condyle of the femur with the medial condyle on the tibia, two different structures. Whereas this right here is the articular surface of the lateral condyle. The fibula will help you identify which articular surface, is of the lateral condyle and which one is for the medial condyle of the femur. Right here we have the inferior articular surface, and tibia provides the medial malleolus. So the lateral malleolus is on the fibula, the medial malleolus is on the tibia. Moving to the anatomy of the foot, first group we have the phalanges, second group we have the metatarsals, and the third group we have the tarsals. This is the distal phalanx. This is the middle phalanx. Don't confuse medial versus middle. This is the middle phalanx. And this is the proximal phalanx. So we have 3 phalanges for each toe except the big toe. We have only 2, a proximal and a distal. This is the proximal because it is closer to the point of attachment. Starting with the first tarsal bone, this is the calcaneus, which is the bone in the heel region. This is the talus. This right here is the navicular, which looks like an N. This right here is the cuboid. Then we have the cuneiform family. This right here is the middle cuneiform, whereas this right here is the medial cuneiform. Remember, the foot in the anatomical position, this is the medial aspect toward the big toe. So that is the medial cuneiform, this is the middle cuneiform, and this is the lateral cuneiform. Right here we can see the calcaneus. This is the calcaneal tuberosity. This is the posterior facet on the calcaneus. This is the talus, that's the second tarsal bone. This is the trochlea of the talus. The talus articulates with the tibia. This forms the ankle joint along with the fibula. This right here is the navicular. We can see the medial cuneiform. This is the intermediate, also called the middle cuneiform. And this right here, this is the first metatarsal. That is the first, that is the second. So you start counting from the big toe. Right here, this is the fifth metatarsal. This is the calcaneus. That is the talus. This is the navicular. The navicular articulates with the cuneiform family. Next to the navicular, we have the cuboid. This is the intermediate cuneiform. And this is the lateral cuneiform. We can't see the medial cuneiform, which is at the base of the big toe.